Well, look at that. Here we go. Here we go. It happens to be a Monday, a reaction Monday. What on earth could we possibly be reacting to today? What could it be? Whatever it is, get on in here. I'm Matt. Beaver's here. You are here. We got the whole gang. And whatever you want to get into is cool with me. Man. I tell you, like, a lot has gone on since the last time you and I got here together on the show. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. How you feeling today? What do you think about things? Have you gotten it all out of your system? Do you have a clearer picture on what actually is and was to come versus a week ago? Anyway, enough of that. Get on in here today. Look, this is a reaction Monday. I got plenty of thoughts and opinions on the stuff with Kiffin and, other coaching changes, State's season coming to an end. And y'all feel free to pull any of that out of me that you want to. Questions, comments, opinions, otherwise, but it'll be a conversation one way or the other. So I come into the show a whole lot more curious about what you think than looking to get up on a stump here and tell you all about what I think for the next 2 hours. So be a part of it. And you can be a part of the show. There's actually lots of ways for you to do it. Hey to you. If you're on the live stream, cameras are back up and installed in the fancy Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, so you can see me, and we can get your comments up on the screen. So feel free to comment if you're on the live stream, like Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Post it. It pops up on the screen, and then I can see it, and then you can see it when I click it. Like, for example, first, right out of the chutes on YouTube, JS290 said, I like Auburn's interim coach, but their players aren't that bright. Hey, out of nowhere. Bet you didn't think that was the kind of comment, the first one you were going to get on the YouTube live stream. But see what I mean? There it is. So, Chris said on X here, Hail State and on to basketball. I mean, I thought you were going to say baseball, but that's fine too. So anyway, if you're out there, feel free to comment. It's another way to be a part of the show. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best. Hands down. In my opinion. And many others as well. The number to text the show, 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. Country Pleasing text line. Coming to you, State grad and Jason and Nick and Bama fan right out of the chutes on the text line. And today'd be a good day for if you've got thoughts that are it takes a little while to text them all out, feel free to call me. We'll give you the floor on the Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1980. No, 1960. I shorted them 20 years. Goes all the way back to 1960. Number to call is 897-1059. That's 601 number, 897-1059. So give me a shout. All right, let me get to these texts here, and then I'm coming to your comments on the live stream. Jared and Chris and everybody. Bama fan texted. What a crazy weekend. Coaches hired everywhere, signed, roll tide. Man, let me tell you something, Bama fan. I got to watch the Iron Bowl. We played on Friday, and then I guess what the Iron Bowl was on Saturday. And I got to watch just about all of it, and it was a heck of a ball game. I wasn't surprised at all to see Auburn come back and make it close. It was getting interesting there for a little bit. It really was. Auburn was pretty physical. And Bama, that was a good win for Alabama. State grad 98 says, I feel bad for Ole Miss, but to me, when Tuberville left for Auburn was worse than this because Lane never said that he was staying. And then says, State Grad 98 says, I hope Ole Miss wins it all. See, and it takes a really weird situation for people like State Grad 98 to say, look, I feel sorry for Ole Miss and I hope they win it all. Really? I mean, consider that. Jason in Flagstaff, quoting Anchorman, specifically, Ron Burgundy? Well, that escalated quickly. It really got out of hand fast. Nick texted the show. He said, lost in all of this is Coleman Hutzler is somehow still employed by Mississippi State University. Okay, well, let me say this too, Nick. If we're going to talk state, season comes to an end, and the last, month of the season, defense just dropped off the edge of the face. They didn't get better against better opponents. They just really, just non-existence against better opponents. And I do think that, it's 2 years in a row of historically bad defense. And the thing that hurts the most about this year for State is, you started the year, you had a little more punch defensively. And I don't know if it's, injuries had something to do with it, a couple of spots, but for the most part, you just seemed, I don't know, it was better put together, more prepared. Played better. I don't know. In the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. And then at the end, when you're playing some better teams, not only did the competitiveness drop off, it just went away. Like, it's just not there. And sure enough, I mean, when you watched them against Arkansas's run game, and even though you win that game, Arkansas, maybe the most undisciplined team I've ever seen. They did it some more after they played State, and that's why they lost. So State kind of gets out of there with that win, but still you watch State's defense against Arkansas's run game. Then you watch them against Georgia's run game. Then you watch them against Missouri's run game. Then you watch them against Ole Miss. It was like watching last year's defense. And so I guess the overall point, Nick, is I'm not, I guess qualified to stand here and say, fire this person or fire that person. And last year, I knew it wasn't the right thing because they had such a personnel issue. What I'm saying is the whole ball of wax, from personnel to how you're evaluating personnel to who you're bringing in personnel, I don't know, to how you're getting them ready, to how you're game planning, to how you're coaching it, to how you're calling it. The whole ball of wax defensively will not cut it. That is a fact. So, unfortunately, there may be all kinds of changes you need to make because, again, from personnel just as much as decision-making on anything else, something ain't right. Getting them ready, something's not right. Scheming, something's not right. None of it's good enough. It's 2 years in a row of some of, if not the worst defense we've ever had to watch. And so, yeah, okay. But you got to do something. What do they say? The definition of insanity? Doing the same stuff and expecting different results. Unnamed texter hits us up. Country Please and text line says, not an Ole Miss fan, but when a person tells you who they are, believe them. Lane Kiffin, he's still a me guy. I think that's the thing that you can definitely see has not changed. When he was hired at all. Okay, so let me say this. This is stuff that I don't even have to say to people who listen to this show. If you tune into this show and you're a regular, you've heard me say it before. You heard me say it then when he was hired. It seemed like Ole Miss was getting, when they hired him, maybe the best version of the most mature version of Lane. Because at least initially, there wasn't a lot of the rah-rah and the, draw attention to myself. It was all talk about football. It was very low key. And it was like, let's just get to work. And then it started working. You thought, okay, yeah, he's, grown up. But then you learn about behind the scenes. But then the social media stuff kicked up again. And I mean, it's just immaturity all over the place. Okay. So I don't know. And then the other part of that for me was, the last 2-3 years, I just hadn't really paid that close attention to him or to Ole Miss because I don't get to watch them play. You know, I'm calling games for state. Those are the ones I see. And if I'm not in the stadium calling state's game, I'm either getting there or leaving there. I don't spend a lot of time watching a lot of their games and stuff. I kind of got off the social media thing of seeing everything everybody posts. So a lot of it's lost on me. I'd prefer just not to see it, pay attention to it. So my perspective on it was a little different over the last 2-3 years, but then all this stuff, start following it here the last, week or so, and then over the weekend. And, it's just, I think what it is, it's really clear. He's a me person. You don't make those decisions the way you make them in the timing that you make them, unless you're just a me person. Paired with, frankly, just immaturity, a lot of immaturity. And that's kind of where he is right now. So I think, like you say, you get what you get, right? And there's an unhealthy, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I guess it is selfishness. There's something unhealthy about all of it. And see, the world, the greater view may not even agree with that, because they go, well, he's getting money. So, by the financial compass, you go, well, there's more money over here. Well, okay. But I think if that's the only thing you have to judge something by, or to gauge something by, is the money compass, then you're kind of lost, and I'd go for him or anybody else. And then somebody last night told me, Matt, because I said, he's a me person, and a me guy is always going to do me things. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And like you say, Nick, you kind of know that. Somebody shows you who they are, you just go with it. I mean, it'll be LSU's turn next. Everybody knows it. Everybody, even LSU knows it. It's just a matter of time. It'll be their turn next. But then somebody, I don't know that he was arguing with me, but somebody commented to that and said, kind of disagreed, and then said, it's not a we business, talking about, I guess, college football or maybe college sports. Said it's not a we business anymore. Well, let me tell you real quick what I think about that. Wrong. False. There never has been, there isn't, and there never will be a time when rightfully team sports, team activities aren't a we business. Okay, it has changed. Things have changed. External things have changed it. You got more people that don't look at it like a we business anymore. Okay, but that doesn't mean it isn't a we, it is. In my opinion, and this was kind of my response to it, anyone who thinks football isn't a we business anymore, those are the me people. The people who think football isn't a we game, us, team game. So those are the me people. And just because we have more me people doing me things, and it's more accepted by the other me people, that doesn't mean that it's changed in the game, and team sports isn't a we business. It is a we business. It always has been. It always will be, whether it's popular or not. And that's really what you get down to also. Let me get into some more of your comments. I'm just rambling. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if you see the stream in the studio, the monitor on the screen is actually rolling through one of the past live streams, and so that's why you're seeing some of the commercials back there. J-Rock says, I guess Keith Carter thought the defensive coordinator would be the best choice because he had to know he was leaving and they were doing no coaching searches. Well, here's the reality on that, okay, J-Rock. let's say Ole Miss made a playoff run and Kiffin coached them, and then when finally their season was over, then he decided to go to LSU, and Ole Miss was going to go through a full-on coaching search in the offseason. Would they hire this guy as their head coach? They wouldn't. No. The timing and, games coming up and all dictated that. So that's what this is. And here's the other fact of the matter, J-Rock. Joe Judge, who is a phenomenal coach, okay, ask the people. And I know, that he got fired as the head coach of the New York Giants, but let me tell you something. You don't get the job as the head coach of the New York Giants without knowing what you're doing. You don't spend more than a decade on the staff with Bill Belichick and, coaching offense and special teams and around Tom Brady without knowing what you're doing. Joe's a heck of a football coach. You have the former head coach of the New York Giants on your staff, but he's not your interim coach. And there's only one reason for it, J-Rock, and it's because Joe played at State. If Joe Judge had any other college tie than to Mississippi State, he would be your sitting head coach right now for the Ole Miss program, not the defensive guy. Besides, he's an offensive coach, and Ole Miss has been making their name with offense. They've been a really good offense. They have not been – they've been good on defense, but it's not like they're setting the woods on fire. And here's the thing too, J-Rock. Let me just tell you something. Keith Carter is the real deal. Keith Carter is a genuine article. Keith is a winner. He is a do the next right thing kind of guy. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. You can look at all their programs. And he's the right kind of individual. Keith, I'll be honest with you. Keith is the kind of guy you want to compete with, not necessarily against. And that's what I think of Keith. And you can see really clearly, the kind of the corner that his coach backed him into, with the timing also being a part of that. And I think what they did is exactly what they had no choice but to do. Is you simply cannot allow, I don't care. Yeah, there's some pride in it also. You can't allow a guy to, walk up and down your sideline in your logo for the next game or two or whatever it is. And the whole time, good and well, the TV partners, all they're going to do is talk about him going to LSU. It's going to be a big LSU commercial. And he's walking down the sideline in your stuff. And you got players knowing he's leaving and all this kind of weird, and your fans knowing he's leaving. All this weird. He had no choice. You can't let him do that. It just didn't make any sense. Keith did what he had to do. Earl in Madison text the show, says, Matt, Ole Miss guy here. I've never been addicted to Kiffin, but I am addicted to winning. Sure, I blame him some for the way all this went down, but I blame the powers that be far more for allowing there to be no rules in place that forbid such antics. Earl, there's 100% accuracy in the idea that the lack of leadership and lack of structure at the higher ups, we're talking at the conference, the commissioner level, the NCAA level, college president level, as it relates to the conferences, there's no doubt that all of those things contribute to this greatly also. They open the door for this kind of thing, Earl. They do. 100% agree with you. All of that stuff's got to, be, part of the blame of why you have a scenario where there's a really good team who doesn't even start their playoff run and the coach leaves and takes his staff with him. It's absurd. It's not even, you can't even classify it as making any sense under the umbrella of any sort of competition. You just can't, it didn't make any sense. Okay, sure, that's a part of it. But here's the thing, Earl. I think we all, I believe this with everything that's in me. Just because you are allowed to do something does not mean you should do it. Just because there is room to do something selfish doesn't mean it's okay. A grown fella who is the head coach of a team who's having a great year, and sure, you want to go coach another team, you want to go to LSU, you have all your personal reasoning, sure. But what happened to Do what's right for the team, even if it is not necessarily what's best for you personally. What happened to, in what world, Earl, is this right here wrong? What I'm about to say, hypothetical. Hey, I would love to come to LSU and be your coach. But the right thing for me to do is I'm finishing this out. I'm not having discussions. And if that means I miss on your opportunity to hire me and you miss on your opportunity to hire me and you have to go on because of the timing, I'm going to have to live with it. But the right thing to do is coach this thing out. We'll deal with that down the road. What happened to that? You know, this worldly thinking that we have in the heads of a lot of people out here that, hey, number one, you can do it. Two, it is allowable. And three, it'll benefit you. It'll hurt a lot of other people. It'll benefit you. Therefore, it's fine. Where did we develop that thinking? All right, just getting started. Lots of text to get to. Your comments coming up on the live stream as well. In the Bureau. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, unless you, no. Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true Magnolia blend.
Has got it all for you.
Just listen to that!
At The Zone 105.9 and coming to you worldwide at TheZone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Jonathan on YouTube, he said, I've always listened to your show because I know I can hear bulldog chatter, but today I'm just fine if you don't say a word about my dogs. My popcorn is ready, and I'm ready to listen. You got your popcorn ready, Jonathan? Now, I'm just going to read it, and then those on the live stream can see it. But Jared commented on Facebook, by the way. Yeah, and so Facebook, YouTube, if you're on X, formerly Twitter, type in a comment, post it. It pops up here. I can click it. It pops up. We can all see it. And Jared just simply said, "'Tis the season for ho, ho, ho." It is that. It is that. Text me on the country, please, and text line. If you're on the stream, you see the numbers there scrolling on the bottom of the screen. For those listening, it's 885-3776. Number to text is 885-3776. Call me on the Junction phone, Junction Delis, 897-1059, 601 number, 897-1059. A couple of things. So, Jonathan, you say you listen to this show for whatever we do it a certain way. Let me give you a PSA. If you listen to this show, be warned of something. All right, heads up. Listen. Just know that in our state of Mississippi right now, we have a couple different kinds of media people. We have one kind over here that is, everything that's said, every opinion that's formed is trying their best to get you to believe that they have the info, that they know what was going on behind the scenes, and other people didn't. Okay, look, grain of salt for those folks. Another kind of media person in this state, you're going to see it and you're going to hear it. You're going to hear all kinds of propaganda. You're going to hear all kinds of spin to make, certain people and certain things, totally innocent, and in certain situations, totally and, completely beneficial to, Ole Miss and their program. How even if they had done a big nationwide search, they would have landed on Coach Golding to be their head coach. And you're just going to hear all this kind of stuff and just know, PSA, look where it's coming from. It's propaganda. And it's really not, if you're not a diehard rebel, it's really not even meant for you in the long run. And then outside of this state, okay, the last PSA, and then I'm coming to your text, because I know J-Rock and Anthony and Grumpy and Mailman and everybody, I'm coming to it. Listen to me. Outside of this state, regionally, people that cover the league, I'll just give you one name for an example. Mr. Feinbaum, you'll see criticism of Coach Kiffin from him at some point. You'll see, he'll have a very sharp hot take type of thing that might make a good viral clip. I'm sure, maybe he has in the past, he'll probably be critical of Kiffin, but just remember, in a few months at SEC Media Days, the same guy will sit up there and he'll smile next to the new LSU football coach, and they'll giggle and laugh and jab and, shake hands and go backstage and sip coffee together. Who knows? They might even hug. Okay. So just PSA, just remember all that. Okay. James from Amory texts the show, says, on a brighter note, hearing we may flip Womack and Nickerson. Good, James. Send me links. I don't know who they are. I don't know who that is. Jason in Flagstaff texts the show. He says, I know this. The acronym, y'all know who that is, the big worldwide leading acronym in sports, proved yet again a few months back just how quickly a well-produced propaganda piece can make utter fools out of people vulnerable to those type of things. Complicit, Jason. The most naive and frankly, the least intelligent of us are the ones who buy into all that crap. It's just like the dog. Okay. And I love dogs. That the juice dog at Ole Miss is totally innocent. The dog's fine. The dog's not Lane Kiffin's dog. He never was. He belongs to other people. The dog's not even going with him. Okay. But 98% of the hottie toddies out there bought into it hook, line, and sinker, and I'm talking about, out here buying stuffed animals of that dog. Hey, listen, you're smarter than that. And the same type of stuff, big ball of PR, it's coming on the next thing. I guarantee you. It's time to learn from it. Joe Mailman texted in, said, Mr. Kiffin got tired of all that hotty toddy crap. I don't think that was it. Grumpy texted. He said, Matt, sometime this week, Grumpy hopes you're going to give us an overview, your thoughts on what MSU needs going forward for next football season. Grumpy is now on Bama's Ty Simpson team for the rest of the season. Roll Ty, he says, in Hail State. I like Ty Simpson too. He's a real deal. Hey, by the way, put it on the calendar. Today, we are in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Tomorrow, Top Golf in Ridgeland. That's right. That's right. Tomorrow, Top Golf in Ridgeland. I'll be there with State Representative Jonathan McMillan and others from Top Golf and others from Ridgeland and all of that. Bill from 105.9 The Zone, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see y'all at Top Golf tomorrow. We'll talk about all that then. John in Rolling Fork said state grad here, but will definitely pull for TSUN in the playoffs. He said, as far as Kiffin, once a clown, always a clown. Anthony, hard to argue that. Anthony said, the question is loyalty. He said, I've been a Bulldog since birth and can't change that. But today the players have no loyalty to the school. The coach has no loyalty to the players. And the school says, win in 3 years or you're fired. Signed, Hail State. And listen, there is truth to the idea that in any of these schools, if it goes badly enough for 3 years, they will fire you and move on. There's pressure on that. It is true. The players are not loyal to the school. Not to the degree that it used to be, right? I mean, that is true. Okay. But again, let me ask you this, Anthony. At what point in my life, what age do I reach in my life? I'm saying for me, the life of Matt Wyatt. At what age do I reach, or have I already reached it, where I am expected to do what's right, not what's accepted? At what age? J-Rock texted the show. He said, but Matt, they made this guy the permanent coach, not the interim coach, or did I see that wrong? Yeah, I mean, I think I saw that, but J-Rock, I guess the way I'm looking at it is, the reason that you even say he's the permanent coach is for who? That's for the playoff committee. There you go. That's the reason you do it. Again, talk about being backed into a corner. You don't have a choice. If you're Ole Miss, you're sitting there worried that the committee is going to dock you spots and playoff seeding and all this kind of stuff because your coach is gone and your staff's gone. And you go in there and on top of it, throw in their interim coach that doing every little thing to help. And tell me this, J-Rock, what's the difference between an interim coach and a permanent coach? Ultimately, what's the difference? You coach football, and if it don't work out short term, fired. Same for both of them. Unnamed texter says, also, what do you think it is that makes our defense wear out toward the end of a game? I feel like our defense is better than most think, but can't seem to finish a game without gassing out. I don't know. Could be a depth and a conditioning thing. I don't know. I just think you have to evaluate all of it because 2 years, this year, your personnel was a little better. It still wasn't world beater, but it was a little better. And you did have some depth. And at the beginning of the year, it did totally look different. And the defense earlier in the year, you're playing teams that weren't Georgia and Missouri and Ole Miss. You look better, and you were better than you were a year ago. But then when you ran up on these better teams as the year went on, you found out you made a little stride, but you didn't make, nearly what you thought you made. And so I guess basically what it boils down, like I said, it not only from a decision-making, scheming, calling plays, all this kind of stuff, but how you're getting talent, how you're evaluating it, what your philosophy is to bring people in, putting them in the right. Everything defensively has to be evaluated really, really critically because it's 2 years in a row of the worst defense we've ever had to watch at State. So you got to do something. That's just the way it is. All right. I tell you what, I got to kick it into high gear. So when we come back on the text line, we're going to get it to see what Billy and Denzel and Tyler and Rest Dog and Unnamed and Boomer Sooner and Rotor Wash and Kenny and everybody's saying. And the same thing on the live stream from Danny and Justin and Gene and Brad and Greg and Jonathan and Legba and everybody. Jeff, I'm coming to y'all, and we'll go really quickly when we get back. After this, stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone.
You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the Zone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team. Brad said on Facebook, Lane wants to win a national championship, and he's not going to do it at Ole Miss. Jonathan said, I'm no Lane Kiffin fan, but when should he have left? LSU couldn't wait until the end of the playoffs to hire a new coach. Yeah, I'm between a rock and a hard place. And, Jonathan, you say, okay, when should he have left? You could be honest. You could be honest. And instead of playing it out, being wishy-washy and not, the people who employ you, behind closed doors, you could be honest with him. I don't think he was. I think he was playing them just like he was playing everybody else. So you could just be honest and go, look, here's the deal. I want to go and take that job. Trying to keep it from, being a distraction, a public thing, but I've decided I do want to take it. I'm giving you a heads up. I know it's a tough place for you and for me. I'm capable of doing what I need to do here to go win every ball game we can win. And worrying about that, when the season is over, but whatever position it puts you in, I understand too, if you have to make, that decision, but to wishy-washy, well, I'm going to play both ends against the middle. I'm not going to give anybody straight answers. And in some cases, I'm just going to outright lie about it. I'm not talking about publicly. I'm talking about behind the scenes. And then, walk into the meeting as though you hold all the cards. You're the one leaving. And if they don't give you what you want, you threaten to take all the staff with you right then. So I don't know that it's necessarily, given the calendar, Jonathan, I don't know that it's necessarily the biggest issue is when you're leaving as much as the way it's handled. And it's easy to say when you're not in it. But, I think that there are times in your life, Jonathan, in my life, where doing the right thing might actually cost us something. It may cost us something. It may cost something dearly. It's the right thing to do. All right, here we go. I said I was going to go fast. We're going to do it. Bama fan texted the show, said the conference commissioner should have stepped in and said, hold up, don't be messing with other conference coaches till after the season. Bama fan, if you are waiting on the leadership at the SEC level to always do the next right thing and have a big, stiff, strong backbone, you're going to be waiting for a while. Kenny, don't call me Ken, texted the show and said, greed, pride, ego, and the love of money clouds the mind. Rotor Wash texts the show and says, how much do you think it was ego that led Kiffin to LSU because Sark is at Texas and Smart is at Georgia? You know, it's been eating him alive that they were at the better traditional programs. Plus, at Florida, Kiffin would have had to play Smart every year in the regular season. Yeah. Maybe that could absolutely have something to do with it. Unnamed texter says Lane led Ole Miss on, tweets, etc. Drew this circus out for weeks and weeks and made it a spectacle of all of it. He had no respect for Ole Miss. It was the way he left, not that he left. Said it's garbage. No respect for him. He left his team. Unnamed says, hey, Matt, hiring Lane Kiffin is the marrying a Kardashian or drinking antifreeze. Like it's just a matter of time. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, LSU's on the clock. It's just a matter of time for them. Boomer Sooner texts the show, said, Matt, there's never a right time to do the wrong thing. Those who are blaming the system are absolving Lane Kiffin from doing what is right. It's not his fault. Okay, so earlier I got a text that Womack, Pork Chop's son's 5-star defensive back from Hartfield Academy. Okay. How about Pork Chop? He's got speed in the family. I don't guess I realized that. All right. Over to the phone line, the Junction phone. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company, going all the way back to 1960. The number call 897-1059. On line one, the one and the only, Brando. What's up, Brando?
Matt, how are you, sir?
Peachy, man. How are you?
I am doing amazing. Look, just from talking to your producer, he has zero faith in the promise you made me last week, which I actually started, that you will have me not on the show, but just hanging out with you guys. I don't want to get on the radio, but he said that it's not going to happen. You can't listen to these talk show radio hosts. So I'm coming to you. I thought if anybody was an upstanding gentleman, it would be you. I'm calling and asking you, is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can come hang out with us anytime you want to. You just have to get permission from Beaver. He's the one that has a key to the door at the radio station.
Oh, it's a flip-flop. Okay, crawfish. I get that whole thing. All right, I was excited. Hey, real quick, I'm an Ole Miss fan, obviously. I got two takes on this. Look, I thought I'd be gone before 6 years. The guy did great. It's the best the program's been ever. I wish that he would have gone behind the scenes and let Ole Miss know, like you were saying, look, here's where I'm at. I am going to LSU. I'd love to coach these guys through. I came to you and gave you fair warning so you can go out and try to get another coach. That would have been the right thing to do, is for us to go and start looking at maybe Tulane's coach or whoever, whatever the case may be. I'm not sold on Golding. I think it may have been a knee-jerk hire, maybe, to keep some of the guys around. I know he's a great recruiter. But, look, I can't hate on it. I hate it, but I can't hate on Lane because I don't like the way he left, but I understand the reason, and I'm just glad we had him from the time we did. You guys have a great day.
Appreciate it, Brando. Appreciate it. Yeah. A lot of wins, a lot of eyes, a lot of great players during that time. And again, the Golding thing, when somebody's not been a head coach, ever, but certainly at that level in the SEC, when somebody has not been a head coach, you just don't know. Like, it's a total toss-up, 50-50. It could swing one way and be awesome, and it could swing another way and be the exact opposite of awesome. And, you know, at state, we've seen that recently. Unnamed texter says, I have 2 comments, if I may. 1, at the end of the day, these men are being paid to coach football. Lane left for money, more money, and what he thinks is a better job. He says, there's no one of you, me, anyone that if you were offered that big of a raise would turn it down. Well, I'm just going to stop right there, and I'm not going to read your other part of your comment, because here's the thing about it. It's just not true. You know, what your comment is, again, is an example of someone who only has one compass, one type of compass. And those, I see those from time to time. And what I'm telling you, I don't want to be combative with you at all, because I don't know you. I don't even have a name. I'm just telling you, please, I don't know how old you are, how young you are, what your background is. What I'm telling you is, please be open-minded and consider that the money, and even at times a large raise thrown in your face, is not the right motivator to get you to do something that isn't right. And to make the statement to me, to say that me or you or anyone offered that big of a raise would turn it down, that's not true. The circumstances and other things depend on that. You know, find any number of scenarios. But what I'm telling you is, it is a worldly virus that is stuck in a lot of people's head, and they've been taught it by their dads, moms and dads, who were taught it and picked it up somewhere else, and are passing down this sick mind virus from generation to generation, that the only compass you gauge something by is, does it swing over here in the dollar signs to the plus, or does it swing over here in the dollar signs to the negative? If that's your only compass, you are lost. Please consider that. Think about it. Weigh it. Think about scenarios where you can understand that, because you've got to understand it. People are more important. Young people are more important. Now, it is a different era. There's no doubt about it. You know, Ole Miss is not sitting there with 85 football players who are going to be there for 4 or 5 years, regardless if the coach leaves, and they came there and now they're stuck with a guy they don't want to play for. That's not it. They can all leave. Some of them came in this year. You know, I get all, it is a different thing. But I'm saying to you, we as individuals and kind of collectively, societally, we are absolutely doomed if our decision-making is governed by what can we do, what is allowable for me to, you know where, with anybody else. If that's it, you're lost. Back after this.
This Christmas, C Spire will help bring the ultimate holiday bundle down the chimney.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
It's to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a rail.
Direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
All right. Sorry. Turned it up too loud. My bad. All right. Back with you. Yeah, that knob swings both ways. I can turn it off, but I swung it the wrong way. I turned it all the way on. Turned it all the way up to 11. Back with you in the Bureau, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out, cspire.com. Let's see. All right, so here in hour 2, if you're just tuning in, hey, hi. Tomorrow we're going to be live from 12 to 2 at Top Golf in Ridgeland. Looking forward to that. Yeah, buddy. Might even, look, I mean, I'll put on a show. Somebody bring me a wedge. I don't even have to take my own clubs. Just bring me a wedge, and we'll have target practice at 100 yards or 115, 120, wherever the pin is, and I think I can beat you. I do. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and throw this out there. While we're at it, we're going to see if we can't get Rooster to bring his 3-wood. Because the nets at Top Golf don't even go to 300 yards. Anyway, if you're on the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, type in a comment, post it. I see it right here. We'll bring you up. And text me on the Country Pleasing text line, coming to all y'all, Res Dog, Denzel, Billy, Patrick, Unnamed, Bill, Junior 49, Jason, Tyler, all y'all. Let me hit you up here also on the live stream real quick. Hold what you got. Let's see. Where are we? Brad on Facebook said, I hope Ole Miss has the same luck hiring a defensive coordinator as head coach as we did. It didn't work out too well, did it? I can't, is that AB something? AB MN6PV on YouTube says, Matt, tell Ben Garrett that Ole Miss is actually the HOE of the SEC. They always get with scoundrels like Orgeron, Freeze, Beard, and now Kiffin. Legba says, I agree, Matt, but this is Lane Kiffin. I knew he was going to hurt him in the end. I had no idea it was going to be like this, though. Tim said on Facebook, not a Lane Kiffin fan, but Ole Miss forced him into making the decision. If he could have waited, I'm sure he would have. I don't know about that. Think so? Forced into saying stay or go. Okay, but again, tell the truth. Stuff starts to circulate, and your boss comes to you and says, hey, man, what's the deal? Shoot me straight. And you lie. Is that justified? Who was this? JS290. Greek Furies. Your greed stains your soul with the stench of ruin. Goodness. I mean, that's pretty rough. The stench of ruin. Your greed stains your soul with the stench of ruin. Hey, Will, what's up? He says on YouTube, what a Monday. Sad Egg Bowl. Man, wasn't it? Okay. Side note. As non-competitive as the game was overall, as bad as State's defense, I mean, State's defense, there are times they might as well not even been out there. And I said that against Missouri. I'm watching them early against Missouri going, man, it'd be the same if they weren't even out there. Really? But as bad as it was, there were times in that game where just watching Camario Taylor was a real joy. I'm talking a true freshman that's playing at Knoxville County High School this time last year, and you're watching him play quarterback doing things that not just anybody can do. The kid is like special with a capital S. I enjoy, and I noticed this, Will, I mentioned it to Neil on the broadcast, that late in the game when it's over, it's obviously over, but a lot of people were hanging around longer than they normally do in those kinds of situations. And I think it was because State fans wanted to watch him play. Him. Special. Doesn't. And then people go, again, it cracks me up. People say, we can't throw. Okay, listen, shut up. Look, no, it's not pinpoint and every decision. There's a couple of incompletions the other day where he's zigging and the receiver zagging. It's like they're doing two different things. underneath and it's a go ball or vice versa, things like that. And there's a missed throw here or there. But there is lightning in his arm, man. And when he really turns it loose, you're like, oh my goodness. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you. The first time that I remember ever seeing a guy that it was really different was my sophomore year in college. We were hosting Central Florida. We hosted UCF. We beat them that day. But because I was a quarterback on the other side, I'm on the sideline while Central Florida's offense was out there with Dante Culpepper. And when Dante Culpepper threw the ball, it whistled. It went, and it looked different and it sounded different and it was different when he threw the ball. I was watching it going, oh, okay, like this. That dude can throw the ball. And I'm just telling you, it's that kind of arm. So he can pull it down. And as you saw with his legs, do things that are special. His arm is special. He's something. And so Will, I haven't had much time this year. You know, after the first few weeks, I had all that adrenaline. I was popping those film study videos out there, but I came away from the egg going, I am absolutely looking forward to pulling about 10 or 12 plays of his in the ball game and drawing it up. It'll be a fun thing to do. I'm going to do that pretty soon, hopefully. All right, let's play catch up. Res Dog on the Country Pleasing text line. It's Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. The number to text is 885-3776. He says the same Ole Miss people that believe Juice was Kiffin's also believe that an MSU fan stole jerseys out of the locker room. But Res Dog, did they identify who did that? Have we caught somebody? Who did it? Denzel. Yep, I remember it, Denzel. I actually remember it. When you texted this show and said this back in September, if Memphis beats Arkansas Saturday, you can go ahead and get ready to say Ryan Silverfield, Arkansas head coach. And doggone, if he ain't the head coach as of today at Arkansas, so a round of applause for you. Nostra Denzel. Billy texted the show. He said, hey, will you guys have a group for College Bowl Pick'em on the ESPN app? The what? Holiday Hoobie Wuddy? James from Amory says, who was in charge of locking the doors to the Ole Miss locker room? Anyone who actually believes that a state student or fan was behind that probably has one of those stuffed Juice Kiffins you were talking about. I want to know who it was. They said they had video. I want to know who did it. If we got video, I want to see it. Patrick texts the show. He says, our defense was exhausted due to the fact that State's average time of possession per game was 26 minutes. That's 6.5 a quarter. It'd be great if the offense would put up points. Well, you know what, Patrick? Listen, you bring up a point there that we even said, years ago, and everybody starts going to RPO fast offenses is the drawback is if you have a not so great game offensively where the possessions get ended, you don't finish drives and the points don't go up, your defense is out there all day. So that is one of the major drawbacks to that style. Unnamed texter says, Matt, people have been making bad decisions for what they think is their own best interest since Adam and Eve in the garden. That's not changing. Okay. Okay, but let's not talk a bad decision for what they think is their own best interest as, oh, it's fine. It's the right thing to do. Hey, all you kids, emulate that. Let me say this right now. And then I'm coming to the phone. And if you don't hear anything else on this show, me, you, all of us right now, before I come to the phone, if you don't hear anything else on this show, hear this. We're not out here trying to emulate a guy like Lane Kiffin. And I'm just telling you, I don't care. You know, he can go bow up on some poor little reporter all he wants to. He wants to bow up on me. Well, let's bow up. But I'd say it with him standing right here. Lane Kiffin's not who you want to emulate. And frankly, there's a whole lot of people that you're watching on television. You're pointing at them and giggling at them. Oh, he's cool. And you're putting their names in halls of fame. Listen to me. You don't want to emulate them. You know who you want to emulate? Here it is. Here's the punchline. You know who you want to emulate? If you're picking a person, and I'm not sure. You want to walk in the light of the Lord Jesus. Read your Bible, emulate him. Sure. But I'm talking about people walking around on the face of the earth now, of your examples. Let me give you an example of who you want to emulate. Josh Morgan, head football coach, Warren Central High School. His brother, Rob Morgan, offensive coordinator, Warren Central High School, Vicksburg. Their little brother, Brett Morgan, head football coach, West Point High School. All of them are going to play in the state championship games this coming week in Jackson. And if I get back to Josh and Rob, for example, you know, both of those guys played for their dad there at Warren Central High School. And they've been coaching there together for a long time, trying to get, you know, they want to win a state championship right there at the school they played. Their dad's name is actually on the video board at the thing. Okay. And during that time, they've never had a team that reached the state championship while they were coaching. They finally did it. And over these last several years, not just one of them, but both of them, Josh and Rob, they've had people call their phone and wanted to hire them to go coach elsewhere. And some of them were really nice offers. I don't know the details, but some of them I think probably would have benefited them financially even. But they didn't take it. And they've been right there coaching together because that's home, and they want to coach their alma mater to a state championship. Now they're in it this week. They haven't won it yet, and they'll have an opportunity. But people, men who put others first, teammates, family, friends ahead of their own interests, who don't make decisions based on some money here or there, little money dangling in front of their nose, but who stick to it, stick to their goals and what they want to do and what they feel like's right. And then eventually it might even pay off. And here they are getting to coach in a state championship game this weekend. I don't even know who their play is. It Picayune? Is that who advanced? Here's what I'm telling you. Those are the kind of people you want to emulate. Teach that to your sons. Teach that to your grandsons. Okay? And it might help you and me to teach that to our sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters by making sure that we see it and we tell them about it and we turn our stupid television off. Okay? And get off social media. And some clickbaity drama queen coach out here who wants my attention, how about I don't give it to him? All right. Over to the phone, the Junction phone line. Junction delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It is Dog Tired on line one. What's up, Dog Tired?
Oh, not much. How you doing, Matt?
Just right. Good to hear your voice.
Hey, is that Top Golf challenge limited to the pitching wedge?
I don't know. I was really just kind of making that up. I don't know exactly where we're going to be set up. I'll find out when we get there tomorrow. So, it'd be nice if we get to hit a shot or two. We'll see. But what I would say is if it's up to me, no, it's not limited to a pitching wedge.
Yeah, I might try to come see you.
Please do. Anyway, I'd love to see you out there.
Yeah. I got a question. Who is worse right now? This is changing the subject a little bit. Same subject, but different league. The Chiefs or the Steelers?
Okay, but what's the question again?
I said, who is worse?
Oh,
right now.
Oh, worse. Oh boy.
Chiefs or the Steelers?
I think it's probably the Steelers, just because with a guy like Mahomes, you just never know when they're just going to they're going to wake up one day and beat anybody. And I don't necessarily see the Steelers being able to do that, but it's close. It's pretty close.
And the Steelers, yeah, Aaron Rodgers he's so pedestrian right now. It's like he doesn't have the edge that he used to have.
Yeah, the window's closed on him, whether he realizes it or not.
And I don't know if you heard or saw the fan base is actually chanting to fire Tomlin now. And man, he was livid. But I mean, he can't be too mad about it. I mean, if you
well, that's right.
Product on the field,
you
give up 249 yards rushing, for goodness sakes.
Which you don't see that kind of thing too often. Certainly not from a Steelers team. That you talk about going against your reputation. I think Tomlin is a good coach and knows what he's doing, but it's like sometimes a guy everybody needs a change of scenery. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a little bit like, I'm trying to think, who was the guy, he was a longtime coach of the Bengals there for a bunch of years. Marvin, I can't think of his last name, but he had playoff teams and everything.
Yeah.
He had playoff teams and everything.
Yeah.
And then it just got to a point where you could see, man, they need to split up. Like, it's just been too long.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That, the Tomlin, seems like he has, I'm not saying he's grown callous or whatever, but he just seems like he settles for the status quo or something. He doesn't do they don't make any, they don't make any moves in the off season. They don't make any, they just, he just takes what he has. I know the Rooney family is well revered in the NFL. I mean, they're probably the most revered family in the NFL as far as their integrity and other things. But man, they've got to do something besides just sticking to. They've got to make some moves. It's just horrible. But
gotta do something.
I'll hang up and listen, and hope to see you tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Dog Tire. Good to hear from you. All right, back over to the text line, the Country Please and text line. Somebody said, any chance MSU can hire Joe Judge for a position on the staff? I would hope so. My hope for Joe, I know he's a good football coach. And making the he's a longtime NFL coach, and then make the transition to college, it doesn't always, it's weird. You don't just step right into it. And it's one of those where now getting to go through this playoff and be, the offensive coordinator for what they've got coming up may be a great help to him to be able to jump out and be a head coach somewhere, because he's head coach material. I mean, that's what he is. Unnamed texter said, role do you think Kiffin's agent had and how he handled the decision? Did he tell Lane to drag it out or to keep his name in the headlines? Does Lane do what his agent wants, or does his agent do what Lane wants? Well, it's a really good question. I guess every situation could go either way. He's got a really powerful agent. I know that much. Bill texted in earlier. I was talking about, kind of what your compass is. He says, you're 100% correct. I'm a State fan, and if I was Kiffin, I would have stayed. The raise is not worth it. Money's only one aspect. Job security, quality of life, many other factors is part of that decision. I suppose there are narrow-minded people with a singular compass, like you mentioned, that would take the money without question and then without looking at the whole picture. He said, I'm not one of those people. I do think, Bill, almost by nature, a person that drives and drives and drives and pushes themselves to, that level of coaching, one of the things they have about them is, a drive to kind of be the champion, the number one on top of the hill, that sometimes even somebody like me that played, I don't really understand it. And I mean, kids can adjust, but I know that would be the toughest part. Looking at that, go, hey, I got a son who's just won the starting quarterback job. It'd be hard to snatch him up and go somewhere else. Junior 49 texted the show, said, Matt, does it make any sense to you to keep paying for a scholarship for these kids and then still paying all this big money they're getting just to play a game? The combination of the two doesn't really make sense. When you think about it, not from a business sense, Junior 49, but I guess again, they're kind of they've backed themselves into a corner of having to do whatever. I mean, paying for both, I don't know. Jason in Flagstaff says, if I'm making $9 million a year in beautiful Lafayette County, Mississippi, winning at put my statue right over here levels with almost universal support, he says, there ain't enough money in the whole state of Louisiana to make me go to Baton Rouge. I hear you, brother. Jason, I totally get where you're coming from. Totally get it. I mean, like, how much you need? And you go, we got it here. And Lafayette County, most of it smells nice. It doesn't even smell like fish. Baton Rouge. I'm sorry. All right. Rolling along in hour 2. More of your comments, phone calls, texts coming up in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
This Christmas, C Spire will help bring you ultimate.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Whee! Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled than
9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Will says Juice needs to be adopted by the university. Well, see, but that's the thing. He belongs to the folks at Wild Rose Kennels, which is a phenomenal thing, by the way, and been around forever and ever and ever. Yeah, and Juice, he's a beautiful dog. He's from Oxford, lives there, but he never did belong to the coach. All that stuff was PR drummed up for clicks. So he's staying. But hey, what I would say, Will, is he's a cool dog. They ought to just make him the mascot. Let's see. Hey, very cool. Mr. Harmon said on another note, I guess I didn't see that yet, but on another note, he said Camario was named SEC Freshman of the Week. There you go, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Let's see here. What did Will say? Business idea, Matt. Sell golf balls and mustard in the Grove when LSU comes to Oxford. John, what are you talking about? John on Facebook said, growing up in Prattville and being an Auburn fan growing up, what did you think about Cohen's hire of Putin? I mean, gosh. My man, he called him Putin. First, he accused me of growing up an Auburn fan, and then he called him Putin. I mean, Golish. You ain't right. Y'all ain't right. That boy ain't right. All right, over to the phone. Hit the horn. The Junction phone line. Junction Delis all across the state of Mississippi. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. They've been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. And here is Iron Man 1961 on the Junction phone. What's up, Iron Man?
Hello, Matt White. It's great to be a Rebel, but first, kudos to the Mississippi State Bulldog Nation for sticking with your team. You got great fans. Kudos to Jeff Levy for going from 2 wins to 5 and within a whisker easily of 6 against Florida in particular. You know, it's a great job. I think the future is bright in Starkville. That being said, I'm a Rebel. I'm so proud of the Rebel players for not allowing the Lane Kiffin circus that Lane Kiffin absolutely orchestrated to do what Lane Kiffin does. Make sure that he's the center of attention. Make sure that he takes credit for all the work of everybody involved, whether it's the administration, his assistant coaches, the players' families, the players' girlfriends, the Oxford community, the donors that make the NIL possible. None of that counts. It's all about the great Lane Kiffin. Now, the talking heads allowed it, and Ole Miss did not mount nearly enough of a publicity campaign to stop him from doing it. But the reality is that Ole Miss won with Tuberville until he left a very good team. Very good. Deuce, Romero, Rufus Franchik, condition gave him no energy to be a coach. We won with Nut until Nut does what Nut does, which is get his money and then quit coaching. And we won with Freeze until he pulled a boneheaded move. Were we at this level? Not quite. But we were knocking on the freaking door with a whole bunch of NFL players that wore Rebel red and blue to prove it. Okay? So, Lane Kiffin, you walked away from a slam dunk National Coach of the Year award. This was a rebuilding year. This was a 7 or 8 win team, according to everybody that's supposed to know what the heck they're talking about. And here you are, 11-1. You walk away from that award. You walk away from the college football playoffs. You walk away from a legitimate chance to win a national championship. And for what? The potential, the possibility that you're going to do better in LSU until Alabama comes to their senses, if in fact Kalen DeBoer is not the guy, and you get your dream job at Alabama, or another fool in the NFL hires you to be their coach. Man, good luck with all that, Lane. Good luck with that. Matt, my experience is that bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bush. And Lane Kiffin is giving away the bird in the hand because he thinks there's a prettier girl at the dance. He thinks that his beautiful Miss Mississippi wife is worth leaving for the possibility that Jennifer Aniston is going to go out with him. And he's finally going to be the guy because he's the special super duper guy that's going to make Jennifer Aniston happy. Yeah, good luck with that, sport. You got 2 years at LSU, Lane, and you're already behind next year because whoops, Lane, all the coaches didn't leave Ole Miss to go with the great Lane Kiffin. A lot of the offensive coaches hadn't left, Lane. What about the players, Lane? Oh, I'm going to poach your coaches, Ole Miss. I'm going to poach your players if you don't let me coach in the playoffs. Oh, sure, Lane. You're going to cheat on me, and you're going to tell me you cheated on me. You're going to tell me you love the woman next door more than you love me, but, hey, you want to stay here for Christmas for the kids. That's how oblivious this guy is, Matt. He is so self-centered that it borders on a personality defect and syndrome that reminds me of the redhead who's in the president's office. That's how dysfunctional this guy is, completely oblivious. Well, I tell you something else about life that I've learned, and I read about it as often as I'm smart enough to do it. You get burned. It's biblical. It goes way back in human history. He's burned an awful lot of people. I pray for him. I pray that he wakes up and comes to his senses and gets right, because that documentary documented a man that was living a lie. Maybe that was his highest and best self, but he reverted to the mean. There's some statistics for you on the Matt White Show. He went back to the average of what Lane Kiffin has been his whole life. Good luck, Lane. You're going to need it. Thanks, Matt. I love your show.
Appreciate the phone call. You know, where did that go? Wasn't in it's in a documentary, but all the stories about how, what was it? Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? When was it? 2 years ago? The whole Oxford, saved them and saved their family, and it's weird. Hey, this was from earlier on the live stream. I was talking about Josh and Rob and the Morgans. I'm so proud for them. It's not my place to be proud of them, but I'm proud for them and their family. My mother-in-law, Debbie, said, proud of the Warren Central Vikings, proud of Keith Carter. Warren Central, you got Josh and Rob Morgan, brothers who played there for their dad, that have been coaching there for a long time, and then their first chance as coaches to take the Vikings back to the state championships. And so they'll play this coming weekend. Chance to win it all, but they're North Half champs, and stuck with it. And Josh has a son, Nash Morgan, who's a really good athlete, good ball player, who's a young quarterback. And he's got, I think, a 8th grader, 9th grader in Doss, another son who, after their junior varsity season was over, was moved up and playing for him some on the varsity. So I'm just really proud for all of them. Proud for all of them. Man, let me tell you, Friday night, Tupelo and Oxford, they had some kind of game too now. And what was it? 20-7. Oxford's up 20-7 at halftime. Tupelo comes back and wins it 21-20. So Tupelo pitches a shutout in the second half. And, Tupelo had in the first half one fumble on like the 3-yard line going in, another fumble on the 10-yard line going in. And then Oxford, I think one of them was a 4th down play that they went for it on 4th down, and Tupelo busted a coverage and Kiffin escaped and threw one up the sideline, and it was kind of like throwing it up, but you had to bust cover. And then the other touchdown that made it 20 before they missed the extra point, it was kind of just throwing it up for grabs in the end zone. Kid made a phenomenal catch coming down with it, so it was one of those you felt like, well, Tupelo kind of gave that first half away, and then they come out and pitch a shutout in the second half and outscore them 14-0. And a kid that Hobson Daldrell, the kicker, he's a great swimmer, big, tall, strong kid, but he's their kicker. We go to church with him, and Hobson kicks the extra point. It's basically the winning point, 21-20. And so I saw Hobson walk into his truck, that beautiful red pickup truck. I can't believe Phil was supposed to hang on to that red pickup truck until I could afford to buy it. And he didn't. He gave it to his son, Hobson. That's the prettiest red pickup truck I've ever seen. And Hobson was walking out of church yesterday, headed to the truck in the parking lot. I pulled up beside him and rolled the window down. I said, "Hey!" He looked at me and I said, "Is that you that had the winning kick against Oxford?" And he said, "Oh, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me." I said, "Don't tell that lie. Was that another redhead?" But anyway, it was a great game. And so Tupelo's going back. They're going to try to defend. They don't have their hands full, but they got a shot. They've got a shot. Okay, so we're going to get to some comments. We got to make some time to get some more comments and more texts when we come back. A little bit of time left with you here on this Reaction Monday. So text, comments, phone calls when we come back, and then we'll wrap it all up. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. We got that. What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more.
With you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. A little hot coffee on a cold day from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Oh, that's good. High Point Roasters in New Albany. Go to highpointroasters.com. Great. When you order their coffee, whole bean, ground already, single origin from all over the world. You'll see that on the website. Blends that they've, developed over the years, and, flavored coffees and different things. Big 1 pound bags of it. So it's a few dollars more, but you're not going to run out nearly as soon. And good stuff. Highly recommend it. Right here in Mississippi. The oldest coffee roaster I know of in the state. Been doing it for a while, going all the way back to Dan the Coffee Man. Look him up, highpointroasters.com. J-Rock texted the show. He said, Top Golf has no chance of holding Rooster. So we're going to be at Top Golf for the show tomorrow in Ridgeland. And Rooster, if you're listening, come on out, bring your 3-wood. I've never seen anybody hit a 3-wood 300 yards. I'd like to see it. But the nets, we'll have to figure out how high up on the net would be 300. I went there one time. Annabeth surprised me. She loves me. I think it was the opening weekend. She surprised me. We had a thing, and I took my driver and I put the ball, I took a tee and I hit it, and then got in big trouble. The people working there said, hey, you can't use tees. So then you have to sit it on that little rubber tee that's on the mat there, and it ain't tall enough for a big long hitter like me. That's my excuse anyway. Mailman David said, Lane may be gone, but the golden egg is at home where it belongs. That's what matters. Hotty toddy. I'll tell you this, David, the egg, man, it's getting used to Oxford. Like, it's been there a lot lately. Too much, in my opinion. It's getting used to it. I forgot what it looks like in Starkville. We need to get that thing back. Cowboy Reddy texts the show and says, hey, Matt, do you know anything about Florida's new coach? I don't know a thing about it. John in Rolling Fork said, there's a right time and a place to leave every job. It can be done without burning bridges in the process. I saw one funny comment that said, only Lane Kiffin try to burn the bridge he's trying to stand on. He wanted to stay and coach. Yeah, Marvin Lewis. That's who I was trying to think of, the former Bengals coach there for a while. Principal text the show, said early on in the Lane saga, he himself said any decision he made would not be about money. But he had an 11-1 team about to start the playoff with a chance to compete for the championship. And in the end, he walked away from that school, the community, and his players for money. And, whatever goes into it. Yeah, I guess you'd have to ask him. Somebody texted and said, Matt, seems we've fallen into a great situation with all of the coaching changes. Seems to be an ideal time to obtain talent from these rosters and fill coaching needs to complement the current staff. Who would have thought a little stability would be to our advantage? Talking about State. Yeah. And, in terms of getting players, you got to evaluate them better, and then you got to pay them more to get them to come. State's still in a position where you can show them Kamario Taylor and you got something to build around. You do, for sure. But, the people that you're going to have to overspend as compared to some of the ones you're up against and getting players until you build something people want to come and be a part of, that you can prove it. And, so that's the position they're in. You're not recruiting anymore. Nobody's recruiting. You're hiring. This is what this player costs. This is what that player wants. And you have to pay them. Unnamed texter, would it be possible to have all the games completed before the end, shortly after the fall semester, then have the coach change the transfer time before the spring semester? No, I don't think so. That toothpaste will never go back in the tube. Earlier, Tyler texted in and he said, Matt, the issue you're facing is that we have moved away from truth and what's right to, quote, my truth, end quote, 100%. He said, and if the court of public opinion will condemn me or not, my truth, and what does the public say I ought to do? You are 100% right, Tyler. He said, right is always right. Unfortunately, our society lacks integrity, so they're quick to excuse wrongdoing. And when that happens, the thing to do is pay no attention to it. I agree with you. You said the society lacks integrity, so the deal is to not pay any attention to it. And just do the right thing and let it ride. What happens, happens. Tyler also said, nice to see Kamario, but you kind of have to feel bad for Blake Shapen on senior day, probably his last opportunity to ever play again. And he said, juice is greater than the bear, the shark, or Colonel Sanders. And he means Colonel Rebel. That's what I'm saying. Juice was never that man's dog anyway. It belonged to Wild Rose Kennels. Look it up. Oxford was his home before Kiffin ever got there. Well, I don't know when Juice was born. I don't know how old he is. But hang on to the dog. Keep him around. He's a great dog. Somebody texted and said, is there ever a right time for a coach to leave for another job? Yeah. Yeah, when the season's over. Yeah. It's like coaching, it's not quite the same stakes, but even if you go back to like Mullen at State, you coach the last regular season game and you leave and just say the heck with the bowl game. Now, again, it's a Gator Bowl and all of that. It's a different stakes, but it's still me leave when the season's over. Earlier when, who was it? What was his name? Hold on. I'll tell you who. Iron Man 1961. Iron Man 1961. James from Amory texted in and said, who gave Chancellor Boyce the phone and number to the Matt Wyatt show? I ought to go back and listen to that and, close my eyes and pretend that was Chancellor Boyce. And it actually would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Listen, and there have been a ton of comments on the live stream too. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook and, we didn't get to quite all of them, thank you for being patient with me and still tuning in. Okay. So Connor says that the person who they identified and have found that broke in and stole the Ole Miss jersey out of their locker room, his name is Eli Burdine, he's a student at Southern Miss. That's fantastic. It's not fantastic stealing jerseys, but it's pretty benign, the whole thing. But the fact that the kid goes to Southern Miss, he probably told his buddies, hey, y'all, make sure you're looking at Twitter tomorrow morning. I'm driving up to Starkville. I got a little something brewing up there. Yeah, let's see. Will said, what use does a State fan have for an Ole Miss jersey anyway? Now, and Jackie agreed with me about the defense or lack thereof. At some point, I gave some commentary that my man, the one and the only, our gas station chicken and hamburgers connoisseur himself, nobody on the face of the earth knows more about the JoJo than my man Stafford Sheridan, and he liked my commentary. Thank you, Stafford. You know it means a lot coming from you. I mean that. I'm not even being silly, trying to be funny. Yeah, the phone call earlier, Jonathan said, I had to do a double take here and make sure I was still listening to the Matt Wyatt show during that call. I thought for a second I'd skipped over to Paul. Paul. I said it in hour one, but I'll remind you, okay, since you bring him up, just pay attention. You know, you'll hear some clickbaity hot take stuff. I'm sure there'll be some out there because now the court of public opinion is all negative about Lane Kiffin. And so some of these regional mouthpieces, they'll say a thing negative or two, you know, but just remember what you're going to see when SEC spring meetings roll around after the SEC baseball tournament and they go down to Destin and they all park and do their shows there for a couple of days and they interview all the coaches, you know, as they sitting there in their Hawaiian shirts and stuff between meetings. Just remember, because it'll be the honeymoon all over again. They'll be sitting there smiling with the breeze blowing through their hair on the beach at Destin live on the SEC network. And they'll be giggling and, you know, winking at each other. And they might even give each other a hug. Just remember that. You look up a definition of spineless in the dictionary, I think you know whose picture you'll see. All right. Team Williams said, why did they let the dog have the last name Kiffin? Lessons learned. They can change that dog's name. It's just his name is Juice. Okay, and the dog's staying, thankfully. He didn't like that dog. It was never his dog. Res Dog texted the show and says, dang, T. Logan really believes Ole Miss has won hundreds of national championships. The delusion in that fan base has no limits. What did Real C say? Real C said, Matt, bro, pulled shank ham. That's the move. Look at that picture of pulled ham. Was that Thanksgiving, Real C? Hey, Real C, if you still have any of that left, I will be at Topgolf for this radio show tomorrow between 12 and 2. And I'd like a taste of that, please. Pulled shank ham. Boy, it looks great. That's it for today, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. See you tomorrow. See ya.